Pastor Mark Addison is on Facebook watching us. Hey, Addison. And the question is this: where do dinosaurs and Ice Age animals fit in the Bible, Pastor Mark?
Where did the dinosaurs come from? What a great question. Well, we know God made everything. And, when we recognize in Genesis that there are things that are happening as God is about to bring creation, Adam and Eve here. Now, when pre-Adamic things happened, and I do believe that dinosaurs, we've probably all read a lot of things on dinosaurs. The more I've really looked into this, I think about Genesis 6 and the giants. I think about how God allowed that to happen, and we know that came from the Watchers and the like. So we don't really necessarily see dinosaurs. We hear Jesus talking about Leviathan, with the dinosaur, seven-headed dinosaur that roams the sea. I believe that prior to creation, there were, as Satan gets thrown down to earth, as Satan had his hand in creating giants, I believe he also had his hand in creating dinosaurs. And the reason I think that, and we see that, is because we don't see in the depiction of creation dinosaurs actually being created, at least not in that verbiage. We see that there are the things crawling on the ground and that are created by God. But prior to that, we see that God wipes out the dinosaurs. We know that. God wiped out a lot of things that were created. And when we go into Genesis 6, it caused God then to send the flood on the earth to wipe out the giants, the Nephilim. And so when we look at how God's pattern is, the things that were created, things that had were corrupted by Satan, got wiped out.
And I believe that Pastor Artie has an answer for us. What do you say, Pastor Artie?
Yeah, this is one of those questions that is very difficult to answer biblically, because we have absolutely no evidence in the Bible of dinosaurs ever existing alongside humans. Pastor Mark mentioned Genesis 6, the Nephilim, or were the giants, or they were people. We don't see T-Rex walking around swallowing up people, pterodactyls or anything like that. So because we don't see that, we have to go with what we do know. We do know they existed, right? Because we have fossils. We've already unearthed that, right? We have something called fossil fuel. So we know they existed, but when did they exist? So that's the question. Now, I believe personally in the pre-Adamic period between Genesis 1:1 and verse 2 that says, it says the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. So if you have darkness on deep, which is waters, basically you have an ice age. So there was an ice age, right? The words tohu and bohu there in the Hebrew means it became void, or it became a wilderness. So something took place. How did it become that? Because later on, I think it's in Jeremiah, it says God never makes anything void, or Isaiah. He never makes anything void or without form. So God didn't create the earth without form or void. Something happened between verse 1 and verse 2. I believe it was when Satan was cast out of heaven like lightning. He hit this earth. He corrupted the pre-Adamic race, or whatever beings were here, and they became reptilian, or I don't know. Again, we just don't know. But I don't see any evidence in the Bible that they existed alongside man. It had to happen during the pre-Adamic race.